SolidWorks CAM or CAD video number 4. We're going to talk about the shell command today. Nice, quick, easy one. The shell command allows you to take a solid 3D shape that you've made through extruding or revolving, and as long as it's got at least one flat side, it allows you to essentially hollow it out or scoop out all the insides and make a shell. So start with a part and open that up. And once it's loaded, we're going to go to Sketch, make sure we're on the Sketch tab, and we're just going to draw a shape. So I'm going to pick the circle tool, and I'm going to draw it, in this case, onto the top plane. Okay, now I'm going to draw my circle. Because we need to get in the habit of doing everything dimensioned, I'm going to go and get a smart dimension, click on my circle, and I don't know, let's make it 150. Okay, good. And I'm done with that. In fact, now I'm going to make it a bit more interesting. I'm going to add a weird square block on the side. So I'm going to get the rectangle tool and I'm going to draw out a rectangle. And then I'm going to align that rectangle with it. So I'm done with this tool, so I click the tick. But what I am going to do is drag this point so it's attached, cha-ching, and then drag this point so it's attached like that. And then I'm going to drag, that's fine. So I'm just making a kind of, hopefully you can see what I've done there. We've made a sort of, ignore that a second. We've made a kind of random shape. I'm now going to get rid of these bits here that I don't need. So I'm going to use the trim tool to do that, trim entities. And I'm just going to drag my mouse through that and through that so that I'm left with this kind of square and semicircle design. It doesn't really matter what it is. Anyway, when you've done that, click the tick to say you're finished. And we're going to go make that 3D. So you'll remember that is features and extrude. Okay, and it should turn the view automatically. I'd say let's extrude it by, I don't know, 60. Click the tick, and that'll do us. Now I'm going to show you the shell command and some of its pitfalls if you're that you need to be aware of. Just remember, by the way, as a recap, because it might have been a while you've done it. Click and hold the middle mouse button in to pan your view around. Scroll the middle mouse wheel to zoom, and hold Shift while you click the middle mouse. Sorry, Control while you click the middle mouse button to pan your view left and right. Okay. Anyway, right, on to shell. So, in its simplest form, once you've drawn your 3D shape, you go up here, choose the shell command, and then you just click on the face that represents the face you want to start scooping out. So, if I was to click on this top face, it will appear to do nothing at first. That's because you need to go over here and click Show Preview. And what you'll see is a yellow outline that represents the zone it's going to scoop out. So if I leave it at 10, I'll get 10. If I set it to 15, you'll see I have a less of a scoop. If I set it to maybe 2, you'll see there'd be barely anything left. So I'm going to go 5, something like that. And I'm just going to click the tick to show you the effect of that. Okay, dead easy. It is taken a solid object and scooped it out. Now it's important to note that number you put in this case 5 I think it was, you get 5mm thickness here, and you also get it between the bottom of the floor and the object, so it makes it equal all round. If I was to do a cross section through this, you can see, there we go, you can see what I'm talking about. So you get an equal thickness all the way around. So if you just needed to make a really quick sorry, just click that X, there we go. A really quick, simple tray or something, great tool to use. Right, it does run into some pitfalls, however. If you decided at a later date you wanted to fillet this, like make this bottom surface curved, you run into some problems. So if I was to go and get the fillet tool now and click that face, let's just spin my view around. So I wanted to fillet this, so I'm just going to press escape because I clicked the wrong thing. So fillet. So say I picked that, there we go. So I want to put a nice round fillet on this. Let's go maybe 15. Okay, sometimes it won't let you draw it, other times it will let you draw it. However, you run into this weird situation. You can see that the fillet has appeared on the outside, however on the inside it's still flat, and that could cause a problem for us. So if I do a cross section through this now, can you see what's happened? We've got a very, very, very thin wall in the corner, and that wouldn't have any strength at all if we were to 3D print it. It wouldn't be waterproof, for instance, because it would be so close to the edge. And in fact, if I made the fillet bigger, it might even break all the way through. So what's important to note is shelling something should be the last operation you do. And what I mean by that is I'm going to go backwards now. I'm going to right click and delete my fillet. Just click yes. I'm also going to right click and delete my shell. And the correct way would have been to put your fillet on first. So I'm going to go fillet. Now that I've deleted the shell, and do exactly the same thing. There we go. 15, click the tick. And now I'm going to shell my object. So shell, click on the top. Remember to click show preview, click the tick. And now what you'll see is the shell has followed all the features that preceded it, including the fillet. So now we've got the shell fillet actually following the same curve. And just to check, if I do my cross section through it, you can see we've got a consistent wall thickness all the way around. So really that's my top tip with the fillet tool, the shell tool. Do any fillets or chamfers or any other detailing first before you attack it, okay? Excellent. I also want to just show you another couple of things really quickly, just because you can get some very useful effects with this. So let's rewind a bit. I'm going to do Control Z, Control Z. Actually, no, I'm going to leave the fillet on, Control Y. I'm going to go on here and make a new sketch. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a hole through it before I shell it. So something like that. Smart dimension, maybe, I don't know, 75. Good. And feature, and what I'm going to do is go extruded cut. Okay, and I'm going to cut that shape all the way through. So I'm going to choose through all from over here. And then I want you to sort of think in your brain, what would happen if I shell that out? Well, let's have a look. Shell, click on here, click show preview. Okay, ta-da, you'll see you've built the tunnel now gets shelled as well, which is quite cool. So maybe if you were to try and to make like a two-piece box or container, you could do this twice, like a mirror image, and they could slot together and still have a tunnel through them and be 3D printed all in one go. So that's quite a cool feature. I'm also going to show you what happens if you select two faces at once. I don't know if this will work on this model, so forgive me if it goes wrong. So I'm going to click shell. So I just went back, by the way, by pressing Control Z. I'm going to click the top. I'm going to click show preview. And then I'm going to spin my view around and click the bottom at the same time. Now, I don't think it's going to like that. No, it's not going to like it. So what I am going to do to make this happen, I'm just going to delete the fillet. Sorry. Sometimes in SolidWorks, the key is to play around and learn what is possible and isn't. So now I've got this shape with a hole through it. If I go shell now and click on the top, show preview, spin it round and click on the bottom as well. I don't know if this is actually going to work. No, it didn't. I failed miserably. I think it's because it's got the hole in it. So I'm going to go back again and delete the hole. At least by me doing it on the screen, you haven't got to go through the embarrassment of making these mistakes yourself. What I wanted to show you is that you can shell with a simple shape at least multiple faces. So simplest shape you can get, shell. I'm going to click the top, preview, and the bottom. There we go. Right, what that's done is not only scooped out from above, but by clicking the bottom, it's also scooped out from underneath. And if I click the tick, there we go. I've turned what was a solid shape with a bottom. It's now different. It's a solid shape that I've just made into like a cookie cutter outline. So this would be a really quick way of making a three-dimensional object with the same cross section all the way through. I believe it works sideways as well. So if I Control Z that and go back, if I go shell and click that face and that one, or maybe not. Let's try again. So escape. This one and that one. There we go. You can see what effect that's had. All right, it's given us kind of an open cup. So it sometimes falls down with complex shapes, but with simple shapes, you can actually do more than one shell, I guess is the point I was making. Okay, I'm going to pause the video, which will appear like no time to you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a plan for an object up on the screen with dimensions on it. And for your task to prove you've done this video, you need to build the thing that I've shown you only as a finished plan, and then upload a picture of it underneath the video on the OneNote page. Okay, this is the challenge part you need to build to prove you can do it independently. So that's what it will look like when it's done. It has a 5mm shell. It is, let's just check, 40mm tall, I believe. Yep, 40. So it's a 40mm tall extrusion with a 5mm width shell, and the sketch it's drawn from, if I just rotate my view so you can see, has those dimensions. So it is a circle, and in fact I'm just going to go and edit the sketch because it'll be clearer for you to see. Here we go. There we go. So you will be drawing a 150mm circle, which is this guy. On the edge of that circle you'll be drawing two 80mm circles. In the middle of those circles you'll be drawing a 30. In the middle of the big circle you'll be drawing a 90, and then you'll be drawing an 80 and a 30 at the bottom. To be honest, as long as it looks broadly like this and approximately the right size, I'm happy. But essentially these circles are drawn on the outside of this one. If I draw a circle over it, you'll see what I mean. See how it lines up? The center of that circle lines up with the edge of this one. Okay. Anyway, go ahead and build that. Once you've done it, post a picture on the OneNote, and then that's video 4 done.